Okay guys, welcome back. This is Professor Hank, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about functions and global variables. Alright, so let's go ahead and begin. So first off, what are global variables? What is a global variable? A global variable is a variable that is defined outside of all of the functions in your program, right? So the variable does not belong to any function in your program. It belongs to all of them, right? So the definition for that variable doesn't come within any function's body, any block of code for any function. It's defined outside of all of them. Okay, so this is actually kind of bad, right? So generally global variables, while they do have their uses and Python does accommodate them, generally global variables very bad. Why? Well, if you've got 20 different functions that can change the same variable, then you've got 20 different functions that can change the same variable, right? So if you've got one of the functions that changes the variable to something that it shouldn't be because it's got some kind of defect in the function, then that's going to impact the other 19, right? So you might have 19 functions that need or expect the variable to have a certain value. One of those functions screws it up, you've ruined the day for all the other 19. Not only that, but maybe you made a mistake in one of the functions when you're coding it and a bug pops up. Well, which function is causing the global variable to get screwed up? Now you got to go through 20 functions instead of just one. So generally you want to avoid using global variables at all costs. Sometimes you can't get around it, but if at all possible, don't use them. They're bad. Okay, so we need to talk about how we're going to access those global variables. Generally speaking, you're going to use them like any other variable within your function. It's just that any function can change them, can access them, can get the value out. Okay, now can be the case that, or it is possible, I should say, that you can have a global variable and you can have a variable defined in your function, known as a local variable, that have the same name. This can be confusing, right? So if you've got, say, a global variable named x and you've got a variable defined inside your function, a local variable in your function named x, and you try to access x, which x are you dealing with, right? So the way to solve that problem is through use of the global keyword. Okay, so let's write a program and take a look at this issue of global variables. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at an example program using global variables. Right, so global variables. Okay, so let me define a couple of functions here. Define one function, I'll call it spam, and initially I'll just have it print, spam. And then I'll define another function, we'll call it eggs, and initially I'll just have it print, eggs. Right, just so it can identify itself. We'll define a main function, which we'll call spam, and then call eggs, right? And then we'll call our main function. Let's go ahead and just run this to see if it's working so far. Right, cool. So there's the output for the spam function, the output for the eggs function. Now let's go ahead and add a global variable here, right? So we'll call this global variable this is bad, right? Because normally you don't want to use global variables, but I got to show you how to use them. Most time though, don't do this. Right? Global variables have their uses, but generally they can be more problem than they're worth. Okay, so anyway, so this is bad, 88. Okay, so since this is bad, that global variable is defined outside of all the functions. It can be accessed through all the functions, or by all of the functions, right? So you'll see that now spam and eggs can both access the global variable, the this is bad global variable. Okay. Now, one thing Python lets you do in addition to this is you can have local variables that have the same name. Okay, so let's take a look at if I change this the spam function to this is bad, and assign to it a local variable this is bad 66, right? So you'll see that in the spam function, this is bad is set to 66 for the local version, right? The global variable has remained unchanged. Okay, so this is the default behavior to kind of try to limit this damage of different functions changing global variables maybe when they shouldn't, trying to avoid accidentally messing up that global variable, right? So you can see that the spam function, when I called it, it printed out the contents of its local this is bad variable, right? So if I actually wanted to change the global variable from within a function, then what I'd have to do is I'd have to use this global keyword, right? And so from there I can say, well, global this is bad, right? And so now what this does is it makes it to where inside of eggs, if I set this is bad to a different value, that causes the global variable to change, right? So let's take a look at, let me modify main here so you can see this. So let's print this is bad at the very beginning for main, and then after, or at the very end of main, let's see how this is bad has changed, right? So I'll go ahead and run this, and then I'll show you what we see in the output. I'll explain it, right? So anyway, so the main function gets called, and print this is bad executes, right? So what do we see on the screen? We see 88. Why? Because the global variable was originally set to 88. Fine, right? So then we call spam, and we see on the screen the result of the print function, right, inside the spam function. So we see spam 66. Why do we see that, not 88? Because this is bad equals 66. This is local to spam, right? And remember, this is bad at the top of the file. This is global. So when spam executes its print statement, you're seeing the contents of the local variable named this is bad. So the this is bad variable in spam is a completely different variable than the global this is bad. They're two different memory locations. So that's why you see 66 as a result of that print statement in spam and not the 99. Now when we go to execute eggs after the spam function finishes, then here's what happens. We have that first line global this is bad, and that statement says, all right, fine, if you do anything with this is bad, you're using the global version of the variable, right? So this forces you to explicitly write some code that says, no, I'm gonna mess around with that global variable. I mean to do it. I'm not doing this on accident. This is something that I intend to do. You're making your intentions known. So then when you use the variable, as I did in the next statement, this is bad equals 99, I actually changed the contents of the global variable. So this changes the global variable, right? So that changes it. And this right here, that first statement in the eggs function, this explicitly says I'm going to use the global variable, okay? So you got to spell that out. This explicitly states I'm going to use it. So that's what that global keyword is for, right? Okay, so then when the print eggs this is bad executes, well, what do we see? Eggs 99, right? So when the eggs function is finished, we come back to main, and then the print statement in main executes. We print this is bad, but which one? The global variable. The global variable has changed at that point because of what the eggs function did. So we see the 99 because the global this is bad variable has changed. Okay, so one last little detail here. Python, the textbook that we use mentions that you can have these things named constants. They also say, well, what about global constants, right? Well, with constants in Python, it's just a naming convention suggestion, right? So you make your variables uppercase to remind yourself, well, this isn't supposed to change, right? And that's really all that it does. So it doesn't prevent you, there's no mechanism preventing you from changing the contents of a global constant, as this would be called now that I changed the name to all uppercase, right? There's nothing stopping you. It's purely a stylistic decision. Okay. All right. So I think that's everything I needed to show you with this example. Okay, so that's going to bring this video to a close. If you felt that the video was useful, please consider giving the video a thumbs up. And if you thought that the video sucked, well, then you've got that thumbs down button as an option as well. If you'd like to see more videos, if you're interested in more content from the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button. And as usual, if you're a student of mine and you have further questions, feel free to drop me an email or to stop by my office hours. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.